Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 40 of the Free-to-Play Cast, brought to you by MMOBomb.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. As every week goes, I am your host, Magicman. Got a couple gamers on the line. We're going to chat about a few things going on in the free-to-play world. We'll drop our weekly bombs. We'll get to your feedback, but first, let's introduce the gang on the line today. First up, Brim, how are you?
Episode 40, really?
I know, isn't it weird?
We're getting old,
Yeah,
man.
you were episode 1.
I was episode 1.
Yeah, episode 1. Closing in on a year. Episode 52 will be a year. We'll get to that
Yeah.
later.
And if
But
you'd asked me if there'd be 39 more episodes, I probably would have said,
Yeah, we meh. And we
But
did the
thanks
first
to the
episode.
fans.
We were like, I don't know if anybody's gonna watch this, and then it did well, and we were like, wow, okay. I wasn't it even your girlfriend was like, really? People listen to you?
I know, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, your fiance. Your fiance.
Yeah.
Let me get it right.
Since the first episode, that has changed.
Yeah, that has changed. So let's get to our other guest host this week. Damina, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. Hanging out with you old farts.
Oh, you're the oldest of the three of us.
Well, not as far as the free-to-play cast is concerned.
I
I'm
guess
relatively
point.
new.
you are relatively new. You and Kaylin are pretty much the newest hosts on the line.
Yeah, so that makes you the old farts.
Wow, I don't know how I feel about that. All right, let's slide over and do the news. Get started here. First up, pretty timely topic, huh, Brim? We had some questions of the week about this particular game, and the viewers pretty much agreed with us across the board that this would be going free to play first out of Terra, the Secret World, and Rift. Secret World by Funcom, also EA in the mix there. So there's been a little bit of news this week on this one. Now, I want to start off by saying it is not going free to play. Yet. Yet. There's a couple other sites that have kind of dropped this headline, and I don't know about you, Brim, but I think they kind of dropped it out of context on purpose to get some hits and some views and things like that, and okay, fine, but it can be a little misleading depending on what site you're on. This game is not going free to play yet. But in an interview this week with GameIndustry.biz, the CEO of Funcom, Ol Schreiner, talked about the game possibly going free to play in the future. He wasn't particular on when, citing that the game would take some time to convert. Now, okay, we have other information on this interview, but I've got to stop him right there. Is it just me? I can't see this game taking forever to convert. For crying out loud, it already has a cash shop in it, Damina.
Oh.
So yeah, you buy the box, you got your sub, and there's a cash shop. So Funcom milking you every which way on this one. But what am I missing that would cause this to be it's going to take us some time to convert the game?
Nothing. Greed, maybe? Let's collect some more on our subs for now? I don't know. I can't stand behind a game that charges you a subscription and has a cash shop. And I mean, I can't stand behind that. The idea that I have to pay you monthly and you have somewhere that has items I might need to advance, and that just isn't okay. I can't.
Well, to be fair, the cash shop, I'll play devil's advocate here, the cash shop isn't a huge pay-to-win factor. I mean, for the most part, it's cosmetic items.
But still, I'm paying you monthly. I didn't just buy the box, and it's not like Guild Wars. It's not like Guild Wars where I pay, I own the game, and you have a cash shop, and if I want to spend money in the cash shop, fine. And I realize that, as far as Guild Wars is concerned, there's a need to make some money to further your content, to support your game. I get that.
And generally make a profit.
Well, yes, but I cannot understand having a sub-based game with a cash shop. I cannot stand behind that at all. And as far as the conversion's concerned, it's already there. So it's greed to me.
What about you, Brim? I mean, World of Warcraft does that, don't they? I mean, they have. I wouldn't call it a cash shop, but there are items in World of Warcraft, the #1 subscription-based game, that you can purchase mounts and things like that outside of the game. Is that the same as a game with a sub and a full-blown cash shop?
More or less. I mean, like you said, there's pets, mounts, whatever, but there's no, I guess, cosmetic things.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, in Secret World, you've got the cosmetic things. In Guild Worlds, man, my mouth today just doesn't want to do this.
feeling like
I don't know. Guild Wars 2, you've got cosmetic items and keys for chests. That, to be fair, you can get the keys in game too, but the drop rate sucks ass. And there's other items like that: bag spaces, bank slots, character transfers are all in the cash shop. So, I mean, comparing the Secret World and the way they have it done to World of Warcraft, is it really fair to compare those two cash shops? I mean, World of Warcraft, what is it? I haven't been on purchasing anything for World of Warcraft for a while now, but last I knew, it was mounts, some companion pets, and I think that was it, wasn't it?
yes. Yes.
Well, that's not the same at all then. Not at all.
Okay, how so?
I mean,
There are things I don't need.
as far as WoW is concerned?
Yeah, WoW and the Secret World, they're both supplying things cash-wise that I don't need.
Yeah, but you just said the Secret World has bag slots, bank slots.
No, that's Guild Wars that I was talking about.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, but there are a ton of things in Secret World's cash shop, boosters and all that jazz too. So you just generally hate the idea of a sub and a cash shop together?
Yeah. I cannot stand behind a game that does that. I can't.
I kind of agree with you. Brim, where do you stand on this? I don't like... First off, the Secret World for me, I was really looking forward to it. I love the concept. I love the stories that were going on. I love the, I guess you could call them mini augmented reality things where there's fake websites set up for you to, you'll investigate something in the game and you'll have to actually go online. There's an in-game browser and you can Google something and look it up, and I use an app on your phone to decode Morse code. I mean, there's just a lot of cool things that I liked about it. The combat for me was just too awful. I could not get past how much I didn't like the combat, which is unfortunate because generally I like the rest of the game. But you spent money on the box, 50 bones gone there, $15 monthly sub, and a cash shop. What do you think, Brim?
I'm wondering how well those developers are eating.
You're always the one. Developers got to eat. Developers got to eat. Developers got to eat. They're eating a lot. Although the plan was probably to eat a lot, but based on the numbers, they're not eating a lot. In fact, some of them aren't even going to work for Funcom very soon.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, they've got the tools to go free to play. Just do it. I mean, I would like to say that I can't stand behind a game that does all three, but I've done it.
With what? Like what?
Well, like you had mentioned World of Warcraft, I have purchased things online while still paying a monthly subscription.
Oh, okay. So you're feeding the Blizzard monster.
Not anymore, but I was, yeah.
No, I don't care. Hey, if you still like World of Warcraft, that's fine. There's a bunch of people that are about to jump back into it this week, that's for sure, isn't there?
Oh, yeah.
Mists of Pandaria in, what? That comes out at midnight tomorrow. Yeah, midnight tomorrow. So I don't understand why this would take forever to convert. There's already a damn cash shop in it. But anyway, we already discussed this isn't a real big surprise for any of us. We've talked about it literally on last week's show when we went through the answers for which game was going to go free to play first. We've heard the bad news for the layoffs. We've heard the bad press about Funcom being disappointed with the performance. We've heard about them being disappointed with the actual sales, where they only sold 200,000 boxes. And you may look at that and go, hey, that's a pretty nice number, especially for a game that was going to be a niche game anyway, right? I mean, Secret World isn't everybody's cup of tea just based on the plot, right, Damina?
Right. Absolutely.
So 200,000 may sound like a good number, but that's literally just the box sales, and that doesn't say, okay, well, we have 100,000 or 100% retention, therefore we have 200,000 players. No, that's not true. 200,000 was the number of box sales. Another interesting thing here, though, Brim, you had never really tried the Secret World, and now you have the opportunity to because they just introduced something. What was that?
Are we talking about the 3-day trial?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do? Go on their website, give them your email address, punch in some information, and get 3 full days, I think.
Yeah, and it's unlimited content too. They're not restricting you in any way.
Well,
you can play for 3 full days, and then they have... I thought this was kind of neat. Like, if you're a different game and you want to do a trial, like we always bust up on Rift Lite, and World of Warcraft Unlimited free to 20. We always bust up on them because they try to build them as free to play. And we also busted up on Terra's browser trial, Brim, where you thought that was just awful. But I actually kind of like this type of trial. If you're going to have a sub, this is a pretty cool trial to have. Not only do you get the 3 days unlimited and full access to everything that you can possibly get to in those 3 days, but then they also have markers set up where if you achieve certain performances, if you beat this type of quest line, or if you make it far enough to beat this dungeon boss, then you get little perks and rewards if you actually decide to start playing. I was a big fan of this. What do you guys think?
I think...
I mean, as far as free trials go.
I think that's an awesome idea for a free trial. It seems to me to be a really good way to gain some new subs. Because if I like it enough to play it for 3 days, and I like the perks that you're offering me, I probably would sub for at least a month. At least 1 month.
Well, yeah, and just buying the software gets you that first month anyway.
Well, so they will definitely, this is the way to go if you're going to do a free trial for your product.
So here's the final question here that I have for you guys, and Brim, we'll start with you. Age of Conan didn't do well. Went free to play. Funcom admitting Secret World not doing too well. At least not as well as they had hoped. Also says, yeah, we'll probably go free to play in the future. Should Funcom just back out of the MMO space entirely at this point?
No, not necessarily. They just need to go straight to free to play instead of trying to create games with a sub and a box and all that kind of stuff. If they want to continue to make MMOs, just start making free-to-play MMOs.
That's kind of an interesting way to look at it. I didn't think that. What about you, Damina? Get your opinion first, and then I'll give you mine.
See, I kind of think here's where it's kind of a shame, because we spend a lot of time talking about how this one's a WoW clone, this one's a WoW clone, and we know WoW has done exceptionally well. I feel like, as far as this game is concerned, as far as Age of Conan was concerned, I wonder how much of them not catching on was because they didn't go after the big market. And it makes me feel bad that, when you go out on a limb and you try to offer something that's not a cookie cutter, that you can fail as bad as these have failed. I don't know that I think they should drop out of MMOs. I think they need to pull in the things that are successful from the cookie cutter into their spin on things.
That's a really good point. we always constantly talk about, as you pointed out, oh, well, this is the same as this game. This is the same as this. And, oh, we want something new, we want something new, we want something new. And Funcom has now dropped to something news.
Mm-hmm.
And neither one worked. But I think the argument, though, would be we want something new, but we also want it to work.
Well, absolutely.
You know, new for new's sake doesn't do us a damn bit of good as gamers, does it?
No, not at all, but that's why I'm saying they need to pull in the parts of the cookie cutter that make these other games successful. Whatever it is that WoW has, you know, that has made them this monster or, you know, whatever. Along with functionality, with the new ideas may get them pretty far. But I still feel like the problem is we've played so many games. We've seen so many basically cookie cutter representations of game after game after game that I think that the group that's clamoring for something new might not be as big as we would like to think it is. And I think that may be part of the problem. Maybe we're in the minority here.
That's a hell of an interesting point. I think Funcom should drop MMOs. Totally. Silence.
I thought you were going to talk some more.
I think they should drop them. I mean, to Damina's point, which is an excellent point, by the way. Even if you weren't my wife, it's an excellent point.
Right.
It's an excellent point. To Damina's point, yes, we do clamor for something new. And, you know, okay, fine, make something new, but try to hang on to some of the things that, like, you know, the user interface or whatever you think are the popular features that you should keep without sacrificing that newness. I think you get caught in this violent loop, though, as a developer, where you look at it and you say, okay, Funcom tried to do 2 new things, and both failed. Therefore, we are not trying to do too much new here. We're going to take this IP and do more of the same with this different IP, a la Star Wars, The Old Republic, you know? Admittedly, the only real addition that Star Wars and BioWare made to the MMO industry, and this was all over, you know, their press stuff before the game launched, was story. It was all about story, Brim. All about story. It's going to be about story. The controls, oh yeah. If you've played WoW, you're going to be fine. PvP, okay, well, we got Hutball, which is a little bit different and kind of neat. Check that out. But it's all about story. That's what we're introducing to the MMO market. And it's hard to look at somebody like Funcom that's tried different things and failed dollar-wise. I mean, the games may not have failed themselves. I'm not calling Age of Conan a horrible game. I don't happen to like it. Other people do. Secret World, I enjoy the game, but not the combat. So I'm not downing the 2 games. But as a developer, you look at what happened with both of these and you say, well, there's exactly why we don't do something new, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that the easy path for the developer?
Yeah.
I think they should drop MMOs altogether. And in fact, it sounds like they're going to. In different statements, they've said that they're going to focus on games with smaller development times, which leads me to believe that Funcom's probably going to start focusing more on mobile and Facebook-type gaming. And cell phone type gaming than anything. Specifically, when you say games with a short development time, that to me, that's what that is, right? A mobile phone game.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see this Secret World over the next few months. If you haven't played it yet, there is the 3-day unlimited trial. You can check that out. We've also got some of the clippings from the Game Industry Biz on the MMOBomb.com site. You can check out that interview as well. Not going free to play yet, but I think it's coming fast. So let's move on. We've got Brim's favorite game in the world, Raiders, by Perfect World. And the official announcement in open beta starts October 24th. A lot of our listeners have been waiting for that date, huh?
Mm-hmm.
There it is for them, October 24th. Now, we've talked about this game before, so I don't want to talk about the Raiders game in particular. I want to talk about something they're doing for the beta. But just in the interest of completeness, let's sum up our opinions on Raiders based on our beta play earlier last month. Brim, what do you think?
I had a lot of fun. I don't know where you got my favorite game in the world.
Oh, it's
but
it's epic. It's your favorite.
it was good. I enjoyed it. I didn't get very high in level just because I think I made one of each character and just kind of messed around with them for a little bit.
Right.
I really liked the combat style. I liked, what was it, the warrior, when you just slam down on something and it knocks them in the dirt. I thought that was pretty cool. But as far as, just killing trash, I was having fun.
What about you, Damina?
I had a good time playing it, back when we played it, but, I kind of think to myself now, I haven't gone back to it, and I wonder why that is.
Take a guess. Interesting question.
Well, I really...
Not counting the fact that the beta that we were in is long over, obviously, but I think what you're talking about is that we spent a ton of time in it at the beginning of the beta and didn't go back into it while the beta ran for almost a month.
And I haven't even really thought about it. I mean, that's the thing. It's not... And the problem I'm having with that is that I had a great time playing. I really liked playing. But it must not have caught me as much as I thought it did. If I didn't think about it again until we're talking about it now. So
I was just kind of meh with Raiders. It really didn't do anything to Damina's point to really capture my attention. But on the other flip side of that, it really didn't do anything that made me go, I am never playing this again. Overall, I have to say, if I'm comparing Raiders to its actual hype before the closed beta started, I don't think Raiders lived up to the hype. Everybody was just insanely pumped about this game, and I don't think it quite lived up to that hype. But, like I said, there was nothing the game did horribly that I thought, oh, this is awful. I like the action combat. They did the action combat well, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For the most part, it was fun. I thought it was a tad slow. I know before people start jumping on me that the action combat is supposed to be a little more realistic and therefore should be a little bit slower, but it felt a little slower than it should have been. So I just thought that should have been tuned up a little bit. The questing system was fine. It was, cookie cutter, exclamation point to question mark questing. The only thing that really started to grate on me was I got to a point at about, I guess it was about level 30-ish, where the game, the quests kept sending me now to kill the same things. It was kill 10 of these, come back, now kill 10 of these, except pick up this item that they drop and come on back. And so it just got a little repetitive there. The crafting was kind of neat. There were a lot of people that were pretty pumped about that. I don't think it was anything, wow, that's really fun and awesome and cool and neat, but there was nothing that was like, oh, this sucks. For me, Raiders was just meh. Something to play if I can't seem to find anything else to play at the moment. So a lot of people have been waiting for the open beta. October 24th is the day for you. Here's my question to you guys. This is why I put Raiders in the notes today. They're actually selling veteran packs for Raiders, and we've seen this with other games, right? They've got the Elite pack for $29.99, and there's a regular pack for $9.99. And if you purchase either of those packs, you get a slew of, in-game goodies, digital items, gear, and things like that. Really, the only real big difference between the two packs is that if you buy the Elite one for $29.99, you get beta access to Neverwinter, the upcoming MMORPG by Perfect World and Cryptic. Now, remember, guys, way back when, you already had a chance to buy yourself into the Neverwinter beta by pre-purchasing Torchlight 2 as well. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
So, here's my question. do you like this buy something and get in to a different beta? And then I have another question about how betas for free-to-play in general have been going, and my thoughts on that. Well, we're going to start with Damina. What do you feel about buying your way into a beta for a different game through a purchase on some other game?
Oh, absolutely not. I can't stand that. I mean, look, in my mind, if you're going to get into a beta, I kind of feel like maybe you need an into your first beta, but continuing to get into betas for certain companies should be based on the fact that you offer constructive criticism, that you did what you were supposed to do, to make it a real test, not a reward. I mean, that's not, no, absolutely not. I can't agree with that. That's not a beta anymore.
Well, the argument here could be that, Raiders, as far as they're concerned, well, we're pretty much done with Raiders, and we're going to give you these extra goodies, but we're also going to let you into a closed beta for a totally different game that is not done yet.
Can't handle it. What if I don't have the right specs? What if?
Well, then why buy it?
What if you don't know ahead of time?
Yeah, I'm with you as far as not liking this, even though it may be for different reasons. What about you, Brim? I know when we talked about Torchlight 2 that we kind of focused the discussion on buying a game, which was obviously Torchlight 2 is a little, and that offer is a little bit different than this one. Torchlight 2, you were buying the actual Torchlight 2 game, but as long as you pre-purchased it through Perfect World, you got Neverwinter access. So you were specifically buying a product, and as a result of that product, getting beta access for a free-to-play game. In this case, you're buying some items in a free-to-play game, and because you gave them the money to buy those items, the $29.99, we're going to let you into a beta for another free-to-play game. So the offers are a little different. I mean, with Torchlight 2 you were getting an actual product, but we weren't generally fans of using a beta for a free-to-play game to help promote your cash-only purchase game. How do you feel about this Veterans Pack with Raiders getting you into Neverwinter?
I think it's ridiculous. I do not understand the appeal of wanting to purchase your way into a beta.
Well, I mean, quick answer, the appeal is you're getting into the game before anybody else. So you have that turnaround of, hey, I was playing this game long before it was cool.
What happened to going to the website, watching a trailer, being like, oh, that looks cool, and then 9 months later, you get into the beta?
Yeah, I mean, that's the way betas used to be, right?
Right. That's the way they should be, in my opinion.
I don't like the idea of buying into a beta. Smite did it. That's another one where you could, not only could you buy your way into the beta, but if you did, through like a veteran support type thing, if you did, you got extra gods right off the bat. So other games are doing it. Lots of games are doing it, in fact, and it's something we're seeing a lot more and more and more. I think, though, it's gotten to the point where is it free to play anymore, or is it buy to play at this point? Could you, if you spend the $30 on the Elite package for Raiders and you get these gear and these goodies, and oh, by the way, we give you a beta key for this other game, aren't you just spending $30 to buy the Raiders software at that point and then playing it, a la Guild Wars 2's payment model?
Yep.
Yeah.
And to me, they're kind of the same. And I know some people are going to argue and saying, well, you don't have to pay the $29.99 for Raiders is the point. You did with Guild Wars 2. You don't have to pay it. That's fine. And that's a fair point. But it just feels more like you're buying the software at that point. You have an initial investment. And it's great to show support for your favorite games, right? And toss them a little bit of money to support some future development or whatever. But I hate the idea of rewarding a purchase for beta access for a totally different game. I'm okay with the type of purchase where, like Smite did. I'm actually more okay with that one than I am with the Raiders one, because Smite was just saying, look, if you want to play our game, we're giving out beta keys, but if you want to guarantee yourself one to this specific game, you can support us a little bit with $19.99. We'll give you some goodies, and we'll let you in immediately.
Kind of a donation style.
Yeah, you know, kind of like you see with City of Steam on their webpage, and Path of Exile on their webpage. But I don't like that. Generally, that's not my favorite way to get into a beta anyway. But I really don't like the, hey, support this game that you may never play. What if you played Raiders in the closed beta and you hated it?
Mm-hmm.
But you really, really, really can't wait to play Neverwinter. And now you feel like you almost, well, is it worth shelling out $30 to support this game I don't like just to make sure I get in the Neverwinter beta? Not only that, not to mention, Neverwinter doesn't even have a date for their beta yet. So you could be shelling out $30 for something you won't be able to touch until 2013. Now, granted, Perfect World and Neverwinter teams have been saying that they're hoping to go into beta late this year, but they've still never put forth a date. You know, this is our target date, or this is the date it's going to happen. So not only are you shelling the $30 out to get this beta access, you don't know when you're going to get it.
I can't understand this. I mean, honestly. Besides the fact that it's cool to get to play something before anybody else gets the chance, I cannot imagine ever spending real world money to get into a beta. Ever.
Yeah, and just in betas in general, I hate the way betas in the free-to-play and in the subscription model sometimes. I hate the way the betas are going now. It used to be the software would be developed. They would hold an alpha. The alpha was usually extremely closed, usually internal, and if there were external people invited to the alpha, it was usually people that had very close connections to the internal team, right? It was a pretty tight-knit. And then it would move to closed beta, where maybe they had put some advertising out there saying, hey, we're looking for beta testers. But closed beta used to be the people that applied that had previous beta testing experience, right, Damina?
Yeah, and that's how it still should be.
They were looking for people that had beta tested many, many, many things to come and beta test your product. And then you would move to, if you had, a lot of places, you know, a lot of games didn't even have an open beta. They would finish with the closed beta and then go into launch. But if you had an open beta where you opened it up to anybody that wanted to take a look at the game, it was still, hey, we're having an open beta. Come and check out our game. Please give us feedback on it. And so the alpha, the closed, and the open beta were treated as actual tests. There were changes from alpha to closed. There were changes from closed to open. There were changes from open to launch. Whether those changes were big system changes or this quest bug got reported a bazillion times, we have fixed this quest bug previous to launching the open beta. They were actual tests. And the company had a and still does, has a benefit from the beta tester. Now you're going to make money off of that beta tester too. So not only are you getting the benefit of lots of people putting eyes on the product and letting you know what's wrong with it so you can fix it, but now you're going to get them to pay to do it too. Seems a bit ridiculous in my book. Not to mention that I think the free-to-play world and probably about the last year, maybe a little bit longer, the open betas have been pointless.
So don't you think you can almost look at that and then answer some of why we have problems with functionality? Because these betas aren't being used as betas. They're not being used as tests anymore.
Oh, I mean, that's especially in the free-to-play world, yeah, I would say that that's definitely a part of it. Raiders is the perfect example, and I told you guys about this. I was in the very closed alpha. I was in the closed beta. And when I came on the show and gave you my feedback on the closed beta, what did I tell you, Brim?
There was nothing different.
Yeah, there was almost nothing different. They had spent all the time, it seemed like, and I'm not part of Perfect World's team, so I don't know if this is the case or not, but it seemed like the biggest change was they had localized a lot of the Korean into English between the alpha and the closed beta. And I even told you that some of the same quest bugs in the starting zone, Some of the same quest bugs in the starting zones were still there in the open or the closed beta. I'm interested on October 24th to see if a lot of those same bugs are still in the open beta. But I'm seeing fewer and fewer changes from closed beta to open beta to launch. And it seems to me, and I hate this, that free-to-play games lately are using the open beta as their huge press advancement and, for all intents and purposes, the actual launch of the game. Without it officially being the launch of the game. It gives me the ability to say, my product is out there, now you can play it, now you can even spend money to get in, or you can spend money in the cash shop, but if there's something wrong, me as the company, I still have the ability to say, oh, well, we're still in beta, that's why.
That's right, and this is exactly why we will continue to see problems.
I don't know. I'm sorry if I went off there, Brim, but just the whole concept of closed and open betas in the free-to-play world for the last year has been driving me nuts.
You know there's a product manager over there at Perfect World listening to you just smashing his head on a keyboard right now.
Just do it right. I mean, there's no point in paying to get into a beta. You're doing the company a favor, provided you're beta testing. If you just really want to get in and play the game to see if you like it and to be able to tell your friends that you were in the game a month before anybody else was able to get into the game, fine. Spend all the money you want. Get into as many betas as you want because you're not benefiting the company in any regard in that point besides giving them the money ahead of time. But if you're truly a beta tester who goes in and does what a beta tester is there for, play it, enjoy it, see if you like it, that's fine. But also, even if you don't like it, report what you didn't like about it. Report what was broken in a constructive and meaningful way. Why on earth should I pay you to perform that job for you? That's like going to work and paying them for the opportunity to have the job.
That's what I was trying to say before about what a beta is supposed to be. I mean, you should earn your way into these. At least into the closed betas.
Maybe I'm nuts.
You should earn your way in.
Yeah, maybe I'm nuts. Listeners, put it down in the comments below. I mean, how do you feel the betas have been going for the last year or so, maybe even longer on the free-to-play world? Do you agree that betas aren't really betas anymore in the free-to-play world? They're just press advertisements and ways to get people into the game and paying for the game without actually having to say, okay, it's full release. So put your comments below. Do you agree or disagree? I think we're all on the same page, right, Brim?
Yes.
I just don't like betas in the free-to-play world right now. I know Damina's on the same. She's grumpy.
I'm not grumpy.
Well, check out the mmobomb.com site for more information on Raiders open beta on October 24th. While you're there right now, we've got a World of Warplanes beta key giveaway, ironically. I will tell you, the whole World of Tanks, World of Warplanes, stuff like that, those are actually some pretty constructive betas. So credit where it's due. I haven't had a real negative feeling about those betas. So if you're excited, World of Warplanes, check it out. That's the new WoW. So let's roll over to the weekly bombs. Brim, you're up first.
Oh, you're gonna make me go first?
Yeah, dub bomb, A bomb. What do you got?
I got an A bomb.
Oh, fantastic. What's up?
Do you remember a game called 8-Bit MMO?
Oh, that was your favorite. I assigned that to you for a show one time.
Yes, and I had veins in my forehead bulging from my skull because it was so painful.
Oh, come on. It wasn't that bad. You're a big 8-Bit fan, though, aren't you?
Oh, I hate you. Well, there's another one out.
Okay.
As far as I can tell, it's still relatively new, like within the last month or two. This one is rightfully titled Bit Dungeon, and it's another 8-bit style browser-based game.
Okay, so what don't you like about it? I've played that.
Everything. Why do we keep doing this? This is like the reason we keep making reality TV shows is because they suck, but people still use it.
I think it's for the sound effects. Pew, pew, pew.
Oh, it's not that bad.
Ugh.
How long did you play it? Let's see if you gave it a fair shot.
30 seconds.
Oh, well, come on!
That was all I needed.
You can't do that. You can't do Brim's 30-second reviews.
All right. By the time I'm on the...
What's your big deal with 8-bit? You hate... Come on, I love some classic gaming.
I've got this brand new computer. I need to stress test it, and this just ain't going to happen.
Oh, for crying out loud. If you're stress testing it with browser games to begin with, there's something wrong in your head. What about you, Damina? Da-bomb, A-bomb, what's up?
Ooh, I'm giving a da-bomb.
Oh, all right.
Yes,
what's up?
I'm giving a da-bomb to my outtakes. Because
What?
I finally got you back.
Wait.
Oh, yes. I deserve a da-bomb.
You can't give yourself a da-bomb.
I absolutely can. Those were hilarious. Come on.
What are you
Ew.
talking about on the Ask MMO Bomb show?
I am.
Oh,
So you thought that I wasn't going to get all that when I was recording? Oh, I got it.
I
And now
like
back.
I like how she's giving herself a bomb when one of the outtakes is her falling.
That was the quietest I have ever fallen in my entire life. It was pretty cool.
And you would have gotten away with it too if Magic Man hadn't laughed at you.
I thought he wasn't going to, but then he did. and it didn't work out quite so well for me, did it?
Yeah, there's a bunch of people that were, commenting that my wife had just fallen behind the camera, and all I did was sit in front of the camera and laugh.
You did. You were like, my wife just fell. In that commentary voice and everything. Yeah.
Right. I still disagree with you being able to give yourself a da-bomb, but they were pretty funny.
Yeah, they were.
I have a da-bomb, too. Obsidian CEO this week. Obsidian, you probably remember them, Brim. They've got Neverwinter Nights 2, Star Wars, the Knights of the Old Republic 2, Dungeon Siege 3, Alpha Protocol. You've heard of these guys, even if you don't know the name. So they've been running a Kickstarter for a while now, about 8 days or so, for Project Eternity. An upcoming, it's an isometric party-based RPG set in a new fantasy world. So cool, put your Kickstarter up there, try and get yourself some money to develop it, and publish it internally. But the CEO put up a statement on their Kickstarter because apparently a big-time developer contacted them, a big-time publisher, contacted them and wanted them to use their name on Kickstarter to raise money. So this would be, and we do not know the company. I want to be very clear on this right now. We do not know what company contacted Obsidian for this request. But this would be like a company like EA, Electronic Arts, calling Brim, who's a successful indie developer, and saying, hey, we want to raise money for this project. Will you do it on Kickstarter under your name? And cashing in on Brim's indie fame to get money for EA to build something. So Obsidian CEO gets my da-bomb because this was the actual comment put there. I'm going to read it to you word for word. We were actually contacted by some publishers over the last few months that wanted to use us to do a Kickstarter. I said to them, so you want us to do a Kickstarter for using our name? When we get the Kickstarter money to make the game, you then publish the game, but then we don't get to keep the brand we make and we only get a portion of the profits. They said yes. And a da-bomb for the call-out. I mean, because we know there's enough sneaky stuff going on behind corporate entities anyway. But this is just ridiculous. I think this is absurd big name publishers now reaching out to the smaller people saying, hey, use your name on the Kickstarter because you seem to raise money. And then give us the, this is what we want you to make, and then give the product to us. And we own the product, and away we go. So kudos to Obsidian for calling these publishers out. I wish they would have done it by name, but I'm sure that's for legal reasons that they didn't. So we got member bombs. Lightcore actually posted a bit more than this, but I had to edit it down just for time here. So Lightcore says, hello, free-to-play cast. Lightcore here. In case any part of my comment gets read in next week's show, I'll save you the trouble of saying the awkward he or she. I am a he. Thank you, Lightcore. I'd like to give a dub-bomb to you guys and MMO bomb overall. You discuss your opinions about each MMO regardless of whether they are praises or fears. When you find out later that certain assumptions were untrue, you were willing to make the necessary corrections so the viewers would not carry on with the wrong ideas. I believe most gamers appreciate that very much, and so does the game industry as a whole. They get what they deserve. I've been watching all of your episodes, but this is my first message to you guys. Hopefully, it won't be my last. Well, we appreciate that, Lightcore. That's super nice.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, that's exactly what we try to do. I mean, we tell you what we think of it, and you can make your opinions based off those. But, hey, we have made mistakes, too. And Lightcore's exactly right. On this very show, Brim, I called Blacklight Retribution pay to win. And then months later, I retracted that statement.
Yep.
Because new items in the game had come to my attention, and I was incorrect. It happens. So definitely, thank you, Lightcore. Appreciate that. What's that next one there, Damina?
So Damien says, I have an A-bomb and da-bomb for Guild Wars 2. Da-bomb for being so awesome to play and keeping me interested. A-bomb for not having a monk class. I mentioned this before. I want to break a jaw, not just cut it with my sword. Also, da-bomb for the free-to-play cast for keeping me informed and entertained. Thanks to everyone contributing. You all rock socks.
All right.
I'm taking that. That is my new thing. Rock socks.
Damien's given that feedback before, too, of wanting a monk class. Final Fantasy XI was the last game I played that had a monk that I really, really liked.
Like a true monk, yeah.
Yeah, double-fisted type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Pandas. Anyway. What was that, Brim?
I am not looking forward to that at all.
Oh, you're buying it. Shut up.
Moving on.
Awesome enchilada. I definitely, this is in regards to last week's question, which was, will Blade and Soul have a sub fee, or will it be free to play in North America and Europe? Awesome Enchilada says, I definitely think Blade and Soul will be pay to play at least for about 6 months before they run out of subscribers and turn it into free to play like most Eastern MMOs that jump over the seas. Sadly, as good as the combat might be, it will invariably become a grind fest. That's just their culture and preference. I thought Atlantica Online was different, lots of quests indeed, but eventually I ran out of them around a level 100, and it became yet another grind festival in order to level up and reach the next tier of quests. Also, want to give an A-bomb to its cash shop for selling chants. In order to get mounts or decorations, you have to buy expensive boxes that might give you that particular item. So you have a chance of, let's say, 1 in 17 of getting the good item. Almost every other box in the every other item in the box is rubbish. To me, that's BS. Just let me buy the freaking mount without those shenanigans. Awesome show, guys. Keep up the good work. Saludos from Mexico. And yes, we have access to the interwebs around here. Awesome enchilada. Not only do you have an awesome name, but that was just a great question and dub-bomb sequence there, my friend. Nicely done.
Yes.
Alids does that, doesn't it, Brim? They have a box chance type thing from the cash shop.
Right.
I agree. I don't like the chance items either.
Yeah.
I know. I don't even have to ask Damina. I know she's about to flip out. It's
You make me sound so angry.
Yeah, you are angry today.
Well, it's a bunch of ridiculousness.
There you go. So Blade and Soul pay to play. That was the question last week. Will Blade and Soul have the sub fee in North America, Europe, or will it be free to play? Robodias27, in regards to your comments concerning Black Prophecy and its sequel, I put Robodias' comments in here because we asked for some feedback on this. I somewhat have to applaud Gamigo about their sequel, simply because to me, it doesn't appear that money is driving their motivation. For you to call it foolish to put a game for the game's sake makes me feel you don't appreciate the value of quality gaming, whether it makes money or not. It's the exact opposite of the Call of Duty garbage. I would say that COD4 was exceptional in its time, but you get the idea. The numbers don't lie, but take, for example, the TV series Firefly was loved by its fans, but the numbers shut it down. Thank heaven for Serenity. And that's fair. I guess I can see where Robodias is coming from, but to say that any company doesn't have money as their driving motivation, I don't think is correct in just about every case, especially gaming industry, right?
Absolutely. You have to remember that as much as we love these games because they're games, but at the end of the day, this is a business.
Yeah.
And businesses are in business to make money. I don't...
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example is City of Heroes, right? Getting ready to close down. If you look at the money behind that game, the amount of money they made last year was almost equal to what they made this year. They made a little bit more on it this year, but they anticipated making a lot more because at the end of last year it went free to play, right? And because there was only an incremental increase in the revenue made last year versus this year, it's shutting down. Now, we can argue that City of Heroes, if you a City of Heroes player, you love the game, fine, that's great. It's a great game. You think it's awesome, fantastic. I enjoyed the game too. I didn't get nearly as involved in the community as some people with the petition and everything that they're trying to save the game, and that's well and good. But quite simply, it came down to money. And in this case, they actually did make money versus over what they made last year, but not enough. Therefore, it closes. And I don't think that us being I wouldn't even say foolish, and maybe I use that word. I'll have to go back and listen to it. I just thought it was really weird that they seemed to be making a second Black Prophecy game when the first one was closing. And if gaming was the motivation, Robodias, then wouldn't you close the first one saying, we're launching a second one, which is better, we've fixed a bunch of stuff, we've added this, we've added this, we've added this, we want everybody to migrate over there. There is no cross-advertising going on here. They're not advertising to Black Prophecy players saying you should go to the sequel. They're just, it's closing. And if the game was the motivation, wouldn't you do that?
Well,
Am I nuts here? I don't know. Robodias, you make some great points. It's definitely an interesting discussion to have back and forth. I definitely value the quality of gaming. At least I do. I don't know about Brim. But,
Meh.
Yeah.
Don't you feel like that's the luxury that we have, though, because we aren't the ones that are trying to make the money?
Right. And I can see where Robodias says it doesn't appear that money is driving their motivation. It definitely is. Otherwise, they would be leaving the original Black Prophecy open and opening the second one and therefore making more money. But there's concerns about not making money on the original Black Prophecy, so it has to go. Right?
Right.
I mean, if it was making money, then you would just open the second one and make money off both. Money is definitely the driving motivation, especially with some of the choices Gamigo makes. Sorrow N says, if Blade and Soul starts without a fee, hell is gonna freeze. There is no way that game of such caliber starts as free-to-play in the West. Graphical quality and details in every aspect, combined with time, money invested in it, makes it impossible to start as we wish for it. Our only hope is that gameplay is as grindy as it gets in other Korean games. That way player base will drop fast, and we will have another AO. Sorrow, and I have nothing to say. It's just a great point. I agree more. Couldn't agree more. What's the next one there, Brim?
Brave Wrath As much as I would love for Blade and Soul to be free, it will be sub. But then again, we never know. It's NC Soft, and they do good free to play.
They do. Well, at least in North America, they've got the whole truly free to play model, which is probably my favorite model out there. But then again, to Sorrow End's point, NC Soft does well with free to play after they've scraped sub money for a while.
Well, and he touches on that too.
Yeah. Soldier Loser, Black Prophecy was fun, but not enough. It was all a bit more of the same. In a space game you expect to travel, there however was no such thing. No trade, nothing like that. I played Tactics Alpha, by the way. It was pretty bad. Gameplay was like EVE, only without the traveling and the huge battles. Pretty much without everything except the same controls. So it sounds like it was like EVE, except without the fun.
No fun for you.
Thank you, Soldier Loser, for that. BPT, this is from Reaver Mist. BPT is a completely different game. Controls like EVE Online with point-and-click contextual menu-style controls. I tried the closed beta test, and I'm not at all impressed. Uh-oh. So now we're going to close the original Black Prophecy and launch something that isn't appealing to people so far. At least the people that listen to this show. Pawnboy5, if Blade and Soul can prosper with a sub fee in the Asian market, which is oversaturated with free-to-play games, then I have to assume they'd at least attempt a sub model in the Western market. I couldn't agree more.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yep. Yep. Vinzix says, I remember a rumor of Blade and Soul going free-to-play because of Aeon's free-to-play success. I say yay. Yeah, I think it'll follow in the same footsteps as Aeon, though. It'll launch with a sub, and then a while later it'll become free-to-play. So question of the week for the viewers to answer. We need to know. This is episode 40. Episode 52 is coming up real quick. We got 12 weeks to get ready for it. Celebrating our 1 year. How should we do it? How should we celebrate a 1 year of the free-to-play cast, all made possible by you guys and girls listening on the line right now? Let us know in the comments below. Come over to mmobomb.com. Hit us up there. You can send us emails as well. We'll give you all the contact points right now in the final word. Brim, you're up.
Oh, I cannot wait to see some of these answers. I know they're going to be great. Guys, thanks for a good show. Thank you to all the viewers out there. Without you guys, we would never have made it the next 39 episodes. I got no derps this week. So head on over.
No derps.
Yep, no derps this week. So if you guys want me to read your mistakes out loud on the internet, put it in the YouTube comments or head on over to Twitter. I am at Brimton. That's BRIMTTIN. Shoot me a message. I'm usually putting up what games I'm playing or testing or whatever, and maybe we can hook up.
Cool. What about you, Damina?
I had a good time. Thanks for having me again. I think being with you guys rocks socks.
Oh, Lord.
All right, gang, for Brim and for Damina, I'm magicman. You can follow me on Twitter at magicman1, that's MAGICKMANN1, or you can hit me on the emails, that's magicman@mmobomb.com. That one's just spelled MAGICMAN at mmobomb.com. If you're playing Guild Wars 2 and you want to hit us up on there, we're on Crystal Desert server, and character's name is Nadell Shadelight, 2 words, and you can join up with the unofficial mmobomb.com there, guild there. So it's not official because it's not free to play, but there's a lot of us there hanging out. So if you want to, roll up, come on over. Until next time, guys, stay safe. We'll see you out on the servers.